We were concerned
Okay,
that
and
a few of you got flown away, but we had to keep
we are going live on YouTube now.
pushing forward.
Yes.
And Kathleen, are all your children accounted for?
Yeah, I thought it was kids going by the window. I didn't know what was happening.
We wish you the best, but we had to keep.
But I didn't skip a beat. I just sat here.
We didn't have a motion to adjourn, so I had to keep going.
Okay, well, we're ready to roll, are we, Virginia?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I want to welcome everybody to the Borough Park Summit Council meeting, May the 5th, 2021 at 7 p.m. In attendance, we have Ms. Lopez,
Present.
Ms. Simmerl,
Present.
Chief Yarns,
Present.
Mr. Jenkins.
Here.
Mr. Mitchell,
Here.
Mayor Johnson,
Present.
Solicitor Hayes,
Here.
Mr. Kelly,
Here.
Mr. Shields,
Present.
our junior council member, Mr. Thomas, and
Present.
Here.
we're going to do a moment of meditation, and we would like to have our junior councilman, if he would like, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag again.
Sure.
Thank you. We'll have a moment of meditation, and then we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Junior Councilman R.J. Thomas.
Okay. I pledge of allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the United States of America,
of America.
and the republic
and to the republic for which
For
it
it
stands,
stands,
one nation, under God,
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 indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you very much, RJ.
You're welcome.
Okay. First item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, on the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Favors passed 7-0. The next item is the approval of the minutes from our March 31st. Excuse me, that was another telemarketer call.
I didn't know you could do that. You just did.
She's got it down.
For our March 31st work session, we have a motion to approve that.
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you, Ron. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kathleen. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Favors have it 7-0.
Jerry, I'll abstain from that.
Okay. So it's
One
6
abstention.
minus 1. Okay, thank you, Dave. The next is our April 7th regular council meeting. We have a motion to approve the minutes of that meeting.
So moved.
And who was that?
So moved. That was me, Jerry.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Aye.
On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Favors have it 7-0. And the last is our April 28th, 2021 work session. A motion to approve that.
I'll make that a motion also.
Okay, David, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Josh. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Favors have it 7-0. Next item on our agenda is our public comment or input. Virginia, do we have any?
Nope, nothing came.
Okay, thank you. Next item on our agenda is our police report. We have our mayor and our chief. I'm looking for our chief now. Do you have a
Mayor?
report for us? Thank you, chief.
I have the report, and it should be in your packet. Also, there's not a lot to pass on. I did get a notification from the district attorney's office today that we have money left over for aggressive driving, and they told me I can go ahead and use it, even though it's outside the parameters of the enforcement detail that we did last month. So we're gonna do some more aggressive driving enforcement. We get some money left over. We're gonna use that. We're supposed to do another wave in July. And for the whole summer, we have a summer wave. It starts July, the Tuesday after July 4th, I think it is. Goes for the end of August. That's about it. The body camera thing is moving along. We've approved the policy. I met with the union, and we met with the personnel committee. We approved a policy manual policy for the body cameras. I spoke to the lady that does the grant money. She sent me a 50 questionnaire thing to answer it, and it was mostly about our policy and our storage facility, how we're going to store the video, and I did our policy with that. And I'm waiting to hear from them. They have to give us approval for that, and then once that approval is done, we can get the cameras. The cameras have been approved, as you know, from last meeting, so we're ready to go. I'm just waiting for Department of Justice this time, as well as the grant people for both. So I think I'll be hearing within the next week. I'm hoping. Once that happens, we'll be making progress.
Very good.
I don't have much else to add. I'm hoping to have the cameras here soon. I'm just waiting. There's some logistics to it too, as well as we have to get. I might have to have somebody that's an IT professional come in and help us with setting it up a little bit. A computer guy, if you will. So I think other than that, we're going to be good.
Excuse me, Chief Yarns, I understand another tractor trailer got stuck on Sleepy Hollow in Clark Summit. Is that true, or is it?
I did get pictures of that from I don't think it was last week, the week before last. I want to enforce it. I'm waiting for the signage to be placed. Maybe Virginia can update us on that. I'm waiting for some signs. So it's hard to enforce with no signs. We got some signs.
Yeah,
Virginia, do you know what the status with the signs?
we're waiting on the signs, and then once we do get them in, which should be shortly, we still have to find time to get it in there. May is normally the guy's biggest month. We've got to hang the banners, the veterans banners. We've got to get the roads ready. We've got to get the parks ready. So they'll squeeze it in there as soon as they can.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
For us, I can't really do anything legally without it being properly posted.
right.
Did you find out like why? Was it like a GPS error malfunction or something like that? Was somebody going to MetLife or?
But I've been told by the truck drivers that become victims, if you will, of this. They were being directed by their GPS systems. Now, the MetLife people reached out to the companies that monitor those things for those corrections. However, I think sometimes people don't update their Garmin's and TomToms and what have you, so they don't show an updated mapping system. So it tells them to go that way. I don't know why it does that. I'm not sure, but that's what it tells them to do. I kind of sense somebody did something to that system several months back, because I didn't used to do that. This is new, So I think somebody must have reported to them that that's the way to go for whatever reason. Maybe there was a construction problem there.
Can we have, if and when it happens again, can we ask the truck drivers what service they're using? If it's one consistent service, we can call them. Like you can call Google Maps, but Google Maps, if I work with them to get it straightened out, but that's not the problem, it's not going to solve anything. I don't know who to contact.
The most popular carriers are Garmin, Garmin Waze, and TomTom. A lot of times it's the Garmin's, but I've heard them, the one time Waze was doing that too. So we reach out for map corrections, and, they're pretty good at correcting it quickly. But I don't know, with Garmin and TomTom features, most of those features have to require the user to update their mapping on there, and some people don't do that. So the way those things work, most of them have features on there for pedestrian traffic, car traffic, and truck traffic. And they're supposed to be in the truck traffic mode. And the other possibility is maybe they're in the car mode, and the truck traffic shouldn't go that way. But that's what's happening. We'll continue to work on it. Well, once the signage comes up, then they're going to be getting citations for disobeying the signs. That's
So
what I'm
until the
waiting.
signs are up, your hands are kind of tied right now. I can tell that to the residents in Sleepy Hollow.
Legal enforcement of it is not going to happen without signs, because they'll be thrown out of court. That would be the challenge from the driver. It wasn't posted that he couldn't turn there. So
Chief,
and it's
maybe,
not posted.
Chief, maybe while we're waiting for the signs, if you could find out what the carrier was for that truck, we can email or fax the new ordinance to them, which identifies its.
Oh yeah.
And the other, and maybe some of the other carriers that, like, for instance, whatever the most common carriers in the area are, that we could fax and email that out to them so they know.
Good idea.
I tried to MetLife, and they were nice enough, but they were telling me that there's so many carriers, or there's a lot of people who are private carriers, or they're going their own little business. But we'll continue to do it, and hopefully the word will get out. The other possibility is maybe I could talk to PennDOT about putting maybe a sign up. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, though. If they would do it, to no left turn, or no truck traffic. And maybe that's not gonna, I guess that's our responsibility when I think about it. Maybe I'm on speaking on a step here.
And also on that same note, Chief, I think once two trucking companies would be notified, the word gets out, because they pass that along to all the other trucking companies, that exactly what our ordinance would be. So maybe by letting two of them know, that might get the ball rolling. Of course, with their solicitor, sending them an email.
Yeah, maybe Virginia and I could sit down, we'll brainstorm on the most common carriers that come through, and we'll email them out and fax it out.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief Yarns.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions for our chief?
Yes, Jerry, if you don't mind, Chief, can we do some more enforcement on Winola Road, and especially up here at Greenwood and Haven Lane, with the weather getting nicer and the kids getting out of school, especially in the morning and at 3 p.m. You may as well not have stop signs up here at Greenwood and Haven. They don't even they aren't even slowing up sometimes. And last Friday, I had the extreme pleasure of observing the Mascaro garbage truck coming up Greenwood Avenue. He never even touched his brakes. He went through the stop sign like it wasn't even there, and I was flabbergasted. And the speeds on Winola Road. I know you had the sentry there. I don't know what your top speed was down there, but I know they're not doing 35 miles an hour, and we really got to start writing some tickets down there.
I'm not getting, honestly, Dave, on Winola Road, the speeds that we're receiving are early in the morning hours, really early. 65 miles an hour is probably on the top speeds on that road in the early morning, and I'm talking about 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yep.
So, but as I could print out a report and send it to you, because it clocks all the cars. But the Greenwood Haven, what you talking about, the morning or the afternoon, or both?
Both.
What's that?
Well, it's at both times, Chris, but it seems like now.
Okay.
the last few days, I've just been standing out in the side of their driveway at different points of the daytime, and in all honesty, people aren't even stopping. They're kind of looking quick both ways, and they're going right through. You know, and I mean, there's people walking their dogs. There's elderly people up here that are just walking around. There's kids playing around. I would really hate to be the responsible person trying to tell some parent why their kid got hit by a car because some jerk didn't stop for the stop sign. You know, I think it's unfortunately going to come to that. I know some of the guys don't want to write tickets because, you know, they're neighbors and everything like that. But you know what? I mean, we really got to do what we got to do here. It's getting to be ridiculous. The traffic in town, they're ignoring the red lights. 2, 3, 4 cars are going through red lights. 3 tractor trailers I saw at one point went through the red light down at Highland Avenue. I mean, it's getting to be a joke. You know, it really is.
In all fairness, we did a lot of enforcement last month. Listen, I think what I'll do is I'll get somebody up to Greenwood and Haven. Probably neglected that for a little bit. Honestly, we spent a lot of time over on Knapp Road, and we could probably get away from there. We also spent some time over on in Clark's Green, trying to help them with their complaints. But we haven't been over in Greenwood and Haven in a while. Winona Road, you know, we could get over there early in the morning because that's when it seems to happen. I usually get an alert. It gives us the alert on phones what's going on over there, and we get an alert we've been getting one every morning. It seems like it might be the same car. So let me, but the Greenwood and Haven probably needs to be addressed. Probably needs to be addressed because I neglected that.
Okay. Well,
Okay, Chief. Thank you.
You're welcome.
any other questions for our chief? Well, it's up to the mayor. If he would like to excuse you, chief, you're more than welcome.
This is Mayor Johnson. I'd like to have the chief excused if no one has any other questions for her.
Okay. Thanks again, chief.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is our bids and quotes. Do we have any, Virginia?
Nothing this month. We are bidding out the paving though, and they will be, the bids will be coming in for our work session the end of the month, and we'll be awarding it at the next meeting in June.
Great. Okay. Thank you. The next one is our Borough Treasury report for April. Do we have a motion to approve the Borough's Treasury report?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ronnie. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Favors have it 7-0. Next one is our vendor payments to be ratified. Do we have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Thank you, Josh. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ron. Okay, on the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Favors have it 7-0. Thank you. The next item is our old business.
We have nothing.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. The next item is our new business. First being our sewer report. Can I call you right back? Thank you, Greg. Sorry about that. Okay, our sewer report. Do we have a motion to approve that? And does anybody have any questions for our sewer management? Or Virginia, were you just at a meeting not too long ago at the sewer authority?
No.
Okay.
I think you're thinking Jen just participated in a meeting with the water company regarding the changes to the sewer shut-off procedure.
Okay.
Now
yeah.
that we're in the new year, the the ban on shutoffs has been lifted, so we can go ahead and resume our shutoff process. And they have made changes to how they're handling rental properties.
Right.
But that's it. And Jen did participate in a webinar on that.
Great, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve our sewer report?
I'll make a motion to approve this sewer. You got it, Kathleen.
Sorry.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have Kathleen and Bob on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Favors have it 7-0. Thank you. The next resolution 2021-07. Oh, God bless you, Jen. I could tell that was you.
Me, no.
No, that was Herman, wasn't it?
Oh, I apologize, Jen.
Oh, that's okay. I'll sneeze later 10 times, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, God bless you then, Herman.
Gary, regarding our next, the resolution 2021-07, the Lackawanna County Hazard Mitigation Plan. We just received this request yesterday, so I did forward it to everyone, but Kevin still has to look over the agreement, and make sure that all the verbiage is good. So we'd like to table this for our June meeting.
Okay.
If that's okay with everyone.
I think that sounds fine. That way we'll have to be on solid ground with
Yeah.
it.
It's not likely that there's going to be any problem. They've been working on this for years. They've worked very closely with all the communities. This mitigation plan is necessary and very beneficial,
Right.
but we want to make sure that we just have it all worded right.
Right.
I move that we table this until the June meeting with
Thank you, Dave.
recommendation from our solicitor.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, favors have it 7-0. Thank you. Next item is our solicitor's report.
The one item that I just wanted to raise with all of you, and I know that some consideration has already been given to this, is moving our June meeting back into chambers. And what I could tell you is that a lot of the restrictions are going to be lifted effective May 31. In the event that the answer to the question that was posed to me is, are we able to resume meetings? The answer is yes, subject to certain restrictions, including wearing masks and keep maintaining distance, limiting the number of participants. And I can work out that plan for what we have to follow. But I guess Madam President, I know you had indicated that you would be interested in moving back into chambers at some point.
Now, have all council members had their vaccine shots?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Has anybody not had it?
I should be getting mine soon.
Okay. Yep, you're coming up there, Archie. Thank you.
Right.
I would suggest then, if someone has not had their COVID shot, that they excuse themselves and do it virtually or over the phone rather than come into the meetings.
Right.
So
Kevin,
I
a
have,
question. I'm sorry.
That's a good point, Dave. With regard to telephonic participation, that is permitted as long as we have the majority of members are present live. So as long as we have 4 present, anybody who doesn't feel comfortable at any given point in time will have the ability to lawfully participate in the meeting telephonically.
Okay.
And Virginia and I can still work on having this aired somehow through YouTube if we have a laptop there, so that in the event that someone would squawk, that we're not making it fully available to the public, which quite frankly, we're never going to exceed our 75% of the room, because we never have that unless some major issue comes up.
Right.
And in the event, we can make sure that no one will ever squawk that we violate the Sunshine Act.
Okay.
But I just wanted to make sure that everybody is comfortable with that. We can discuss it more at the live or our work session. But I can tell you that the major restrictions are going to be lifted by the governor's office effective May 31, which would certainly enable us to return to chambers to conduct meetings.
Mm-hmm. My only concern, Kevin, is that everybody on the council, everybody that sits at the table has had their vaccination. If they have not, I would certainly hope that they would be considerate enough to, not come to the meeting. I think it's imperative that everybody has their shot who sits at the table.
Right.
And that way, if they want to do it from the convenience of their home, fine, all well and good. I have no objection to that. I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a great idea that we still continue with the ability for someone who is possibly sick or ill. I said that all in one word, sick or illness, and they can call in by phone, or if they happen to be traveling out of town, which the vacation season is going to be coming up, they can still attend the meeting and they can do it by phone.
Right.
And everything will still be running on a smooth filter.
Right.
So if I may ask a question, do we have the capability to really do a sort of hybrid meeting? Meaning, do we have the capability for everyone around the table to be in close enough proximity to, a microphone or a computer that's connected? Because I've been a part of quite a few hybrid meetings, and they don't go well if everyone that's there who's going to be speaking can't be heard by those who are remote. So I think we need to be fully prepared to do that if we're going to make that option available, or else it's going to just be a frustration.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have microphones, but we've never had microphones at our meeting. On the other hand, we will have the tables that council will be sitting at will have electricity at them. So if anybody and everybody that wants to bring their tablets or whatever electronics with them, they can plug in while we're having the meeting.
So I guess if we were going to do it on Zoom, for example, and then broadcast it to YouTube, what I would suggest is that we have at least a handful of laptops so that whoever is close, so you can unmute the one that someone is sitting closest to, so that at least you have,
right.
Where we're running into a problem is if you only have one laptop that's connected and anyone far away from it, you're not going to hear them. So you just need to plan to accommodate that if that's what we want to do.
Good idea, Josh.
Yep.
We actually have the television we have a television in the new council chambers. So we'd be able to televise the, do the Zoom, whoever's participating via Zoom, if that's the way they're doing it, would be over the television, and we could certainly adjust the volume on that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to play with it, but we haven't done it yet, but we can't, I think the technology is there now.
And we've done telephonic meetings in the past, right? I mean, that you've had problems with that.
We've done that, yeah. Because it's not a big room, so generally everyone could hear. But I know what Josh's concern is that if we're recording it by video, you can't pick up people speaking all that well, unless it's right in front of them. So that's something we're gonna have to work out, and maybe we'll have to buy a camera like I have on my computer to put above the TV or so. Because this is going to be the way of the future, I think, or this is going to be the new norm for a while anyway. So
I think you're right.
I'm working on a plan. I'll circulate it. I'd be interested in all your comments. And I think the stuff that Dave and others have said is important considerations in terms of not coming when you're not feeling well, or if you're going to be in the presence of somebody who has a compromised immune system, maybe you don't come to the meeting because you don't want to be exposed. But the key is that you can participate telephonically as long as we have 4 members present, and it's considered a legitimate lawful.
We do also have that thermometer that we bought, and that will be, I'm sure, somewhere close proximity to coming off the elevator when people are standing there.
Absolutely.
They can check their temperature, and if
absolutely,
we should probably, when we have notification of what we're going to do, put in there that people must check their temperature upon entering the chambers. And if it's over a certain number, that they will not be allowed in, or that they will be respectfully asked to leave due to a particular temperature, for the sake of everyone else.
Right. And my recommendation is everyone obviously wears masks,
And will the
Is there-
public be invited to the meetings now, Kevin, as well?
Right, we have to have, yep, if we're meeting
Yes.
publicly, we have to have the public present.
Yep.
What we may have to do is, we're gonna have to have a limitation in the number of occupants in that room. Right, I think it's 25% right now. It may be bumping up. So we have to determine what's the lawful occupancy of the room and then divide it by what we'll be able to have 25%, and that's the number of participants.
Probably gonna have to have every other seat,
Right.
just have a space in between them where they're,
Mhm.
close to being.
Aren't those gathering limits the ones that are being lifted on Memorial Day? Well, those will be gone by the time we meet.
That's what I thought too.
I know, it seems that they're, it seems it's for restaurants and dining and bars and I was sure, I didn't say that see that it carries over to us, but I think that might be the case. I did call the Department of Health. I think they're still working on the directives, but yeah, it's major changes are coming effective 31st. So
I think Kevin and I are going to need to come over, get together and kind of draft a policy
right.
for these meetings, and we'll get them out to council once we've done that. Maybe we can go over it at our work session, which will be the last time we meet out via Zoom,
And
hopefully.
then we could approve them formally at the meeting so that they're
Right.
rules of council.
Virginia, just getting off that subject to Shade, how soon is the new sewer bills going to be going out with our little notification that we put on the back of them?
The
How
sewer
soon will
bills
they?
go out quarterly. The last ones just went out April 1st. So our next mailing won't be till July 1st.
Okay, can we make sure on those mailings that go out that we have something on there concerning the new regulations that are at the recycling center about the size of the branches? It can no longer be a certain size, and also the length of them. And
Mhm.
do we have money in our recycling fund at all?
We don't have a recycling fund.
Oh, we don't have one. What,
No.
what do we do with that money that we get from the recycling when we get that?
That's that just goes into the general fund.
Oh, okay,
And
all
our
right.
recycling is paid for out of it.
Okay, all right. Because I had a weird thought the other day that maybe it would be it would behoove the borough council to invest in 2-foot length rulers and put on advertising on it, brought to you by Clark Summit Borough Recycling, that the length of your brush that you put out is only 24 inches long, and also 2 inches in diameter, and mark it on a ruler and buy 6,000 of them and have them available for the council members to pass out to everybody in the borough as they see them for a goodwill gesture, so that the people don't put the wrong stuff out for our crew to pick up, and we don't have loads turned away, such as what we had this past week down at the recycling center.
Yeah, I will look into pricing on that for you. I imagine it'd be fairly reasonable.
Yeah. So, I mean, we did the recycling containers, something as silly as handing out rulers. Okay. Might just work in the borough, that people would understand they're only this long and they're only that thick,
Mhm.
and then have markings that are highlighted for the thickness of the ruler, or the thickness of the wood that you put out is only 2 inches, and the length of the piece you put out is only 24 inches. It sounds silly, but it might just work.
Okay. Okay, there's we have no correspondence, Virginia?
None.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions from any other council members?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, well, we had prior no executive session during subsequent. So
I thought you were done, Jerry.
Now
that's the last item on our agenda. Thank you, Dave.
Now Dave can make the motion.
Now you can make your motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you, Dave. We don't need a second.
We don't need a second.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Much. Everybody,
Well,
have a good week.
Everybody,
That was quick and easy.
everybody stay dry.
Yes,
Thanks.
exactly.
Take care. Have a
Okay.
great
All
night.
right. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Good night.
guys.
Happy
Kevin, you
Mother's
raised your
Day.
hand?
No, I hit it by accident, but happy Mother's Day.
All right, good night.